I'm really excited because I've done some reconfigurations, some recalculations, and it's matching better to the actual one, which is shockingly just exactly as they depicted it. It's like really exact. So all of these regions here and these edges are all like they've been like traveling, and they're just like, you know, meeting new people. They were out there for like months and months to create maps like these. They would leave for like a year, and they would, you know, travel. And this is between the 1500s and the 1800s. And these maps were created, perfect depictions, all right? This one right here, I've been decoding. Rupes Nigra, et Atisma. I thought that was an F, but that's actually a big S. That's cool, and then there's a double S there. So I looked that up, and it says that it was, and this changed my calculations a little bit. It says it believes, excuse me, Rupes Nigra, the Black Rock, a Phantom Island. Oh, I want to redo that because I want to do it with the voice. The Rupes Nigra, Black Rock, a Phantom Island, believed to be a 33-mile black rock located at the magnetic North Pole, or at the North Pole itself. So you have to understand one thing, is that this thing is not cold. It's not Arctic because it's cold. This POLVS word means awakening in Latin or something like that. It means awakening. Awakening. And then some terms I normally see with it is cum vicinus, which cum means dual and vicinus means vicinity in Latin. Alright, so it's very interesting. You guys got to check this out. Look up Rupes Nigra. And I have done a new drawing which also correlates with this giant rock right here. And you can look and see that it has all the little holes in the bottom of it, and all the waters and streams are emptying into the bottom of it. Now, one of the explorers, I think it was around the 1800s, said that they were up on top of this rock, and this thing is, I guess, not 100 miles wide, which was misinterpreted by the guy who did this video here. He said that they said it was 35 kegs, 35 kegs, and that is actually miles, not 100 miles or 300 or 400 miles or whatever he said. So this being 35 kegs is actually 33, or wow, 33. Ha 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 ha. The Black Rock is said to be, holy shit, wait, go back, no, Rupes Nigra. A 33-mile wide black rock. Very interesting. So maybe they used that to signify their whole 33, and maybe that's where their influence came from for that whole 33 thing. Potentially. Alright, so all the compasses meet there, and there's also a 90. Where are you at? Just so I can show you that, because that's very interesting. So it all kind of correlates within 3s and 90s, 30s and 90s. And that's the 80 degree. Is that the 35th parallel? No, it's not. 35th parallel is back that way. Man, this shit is mind-blowing. But it's all parallel from each other, and that's why, because it's a flat earth, a flat circle. So these are different parallel. They call it, I'm imagining this would be the 80th parallel, and then this would be just 90, like boom. And then it's also a 33-mile wide rock. But they said it was 35. So it's not 100 miles. That dude was wrong. Which makes this whole area here, this whole space here is about 100 miles wide. So we could actually, man, it wouldn't be hard. That would be like maybe a whole day of traveling on the road with a motorboat or something, you know. That's a whole day of traveling. To get across that, you can actually adventure across that shit relatively easily. Instead of that being 400 miles, it's not that big. These are more like islands than I suspected. So unfortunately, I was, you know, the guy here was incorrect. So it's good to look further. It's good to not take things at face value. It's good to break it down more. 35 keys is 35 miles. So this thing is 35 miles wide, okay? It's a giant black rock referred to as POLVS ARCTIVS or Rupes Nigra, which is black rock, and it's said to be a big black rock, or maybe it's darkened by its magnetic pull. Maybe it's got a lot of things stuck to it, or maybe it has eroded. Maybe it's just a giant hematite. Maybe it's, you know, seriously, it's crazy, man, what it could be. And the Aurora Borealis, as you see it raining back down as it's shooting back out, it's very more so accurate as how I see the Northern Lights, how they fall down after they kind of hit the parabolic mirror, or you call the monolithic stone, or terra firma, or firmament terrarium, or firmament dome, or Van Allen belt, whatever you want to call it. It's not going to get past that, and it's going to come showering back down, just like that, just like the Northern Lights do, over this whole area. And whoever is getting immediately rained on by this thing here within this 400-mile radius here is getting hit with that, man. Those rays are coming down on their ass, man. They're feeling it. Somebody told me in Facebook, man, or was it YouTube, said that they were experiencing some pretty interesting feelings of like oneness and extra energy when being out here and seeing the Northern Lights. They said that they sit up on the high regions and they can feel it coming out, man. The Aurora Borealis, man, isn't that some shit? Wow. So maybe it's not so dangerous. Maybe you may need scuba equipment, maybe not. Because another thing, one of these explorers that came back and went forward and come and go, apparently there's some way out somewhere in that whole round map area that's exact to the top part. Remember, when you watch this video, you just gotta watch this video. This one here, it shows you the underneath. More on POLVS ARCTIVS part 2. Alright, you want to see underneath too, so you can understand what I'm saying. It's like a parallel, and the ice ring has waters and streams on the opposite side that pour over that area. It's literally no extra land outside of that. That is the extra land that they're hiding. So you got to look within. That's another thing I wanted to say. You have to look within instead of looking outward. They want you to keep looking outward. They want you to look out in outer space. They want you to look in this infinite plane. And I actually got into a debate with one of the NASA employees. This dude was a painter. His name was Brent Richmond or Mike Brent or Mike something like that. This artist, this painter guy that came out and said that the Earth was on an infinite plane of continents. And I told him, I said, that's impossible. We have a Polaris. It would be off center, because it wouldn't be us in the center of this random field of infinite land. And he got quiet, you know. And then he also was going back and forth with me, because I was just going on this post and like, dude, you're fucking lying. Stop telling everybody lies, you know. And he got mad, and he was like, I guess he assumed that he was smarter than I was or whatever. And I was just asking all the right questions, really. So this guy, I can't even remember what his name. And I was calling him out. I said, dude, you're a shill, you know. I said, you know, it's a famous NASA painter. And it's not the comedian one. It's another guy, Brent, whatever. He says they're hiding more land out there. And I said that's impossible, because if the horizon line is reflecting off the firmament and is white there, and it's just the ice ring reflection, then you would see holes in the reflection. And that's the extra land you would see. Like, you would see water reflecting off of the reflection. And he was just like, whoa. He didn't say shit. It was fucking hysterical, man. And ever since then, I haven't heard from him, but he hasn't had any last words or anything. Rupes Nigra et altissima. That's not an F. That's a elongated S. Let me correct that. Some shit like that. Altissima. Altissima. Yes. So going into it is relatively easy and safe and fun. Why? Because another thing right here. Here's a diagram depicting, sorry, I'm a little tongue-tied. One of the explorers experiences going down this hole here. And they said that they felt like they could just sail down into the shit. So the rabbit hole is not so scary as they say, and it's not so magnetic that it pulls your ship apart. Maybe it helps guide your ship. Maybe it's better to have a regular wooden ship, because as you go down this thing, as they reported, that they went down like a wormhole type of deal, and when they looked in the top, they could look down and see the black sun. So somehow, kind of like your binoculars, how it has mirrors and everything, somehow they were able to look into that and see a black sun through it, and they were like, wait a minute, this is fucking crazy. So they went from up here, 30 miles across, up here somewhere, looking up into there, and then they went down and they sailed down into it. And when they said their account, when they sailed down to it, it was easy. They just sailed down into it. And they went down, and then they came up the other side, like upside down. So it's right there, man. It's right there. And I'm kind of depicting it by creating a parallel, kind of like into perspective drawing of an opposite side. So this isn't very accurate here, but as you can imagine, it would just be kind of like that. Maybe this is just a giant tree itself, and it's not like a rock then the tree. Wow, so it's really cool, man. Stuff that the people should look into as we get closer to this journey. I'm glad I was able to share this with you. Let's recap. It's 35 miles apart, 35 keeks, or 33 keeks. And that means from the shore of Canada, it's only 150 miles, not 600 miles or 500 miles. I'm so glad I had a chance to tell you guys that, because I'm listening to these people tell the story, and sometimes people are off. You know, this dude was really knowledgeable. He was a real smart dude, but keeks is apparently miles, because here, cross-reference from other people, they're saying that black rock was 33 miles wide. Give or take, if somebody was back in the 1800s, The Adventures of Captain Hatteras. Man, you want to check that out. Of the North Pole. This has got to be accurate as fuck. Wait a minute. Created by a volcano. Whatever. That's some bullshit. There they go again. So this is probably a Vatican documentary here. Or Freemason. Because they're telling you about volcanoes. Right there. So I may not look in fiction. There it is. There you go again. They're telling you, no, this is not necessarily true. So I'll probably get a lot of truth from seeing this one. I'll check it out later. 1866. It's probably true. And then they rub in this bullshit here. That is fiction. And then they put something that they actually are, responsible for, which is the volcanoes and the lies about the dinosaurs and all of that shit. So there you go, man. They like to mix it up. And they're trying to say that this is fiction too. So there you have it. You know what you know. You already know. You're doing the research. You see all the maps, the accurate depictions, the measurements, the trips, the voyages, the documentations, the journals, the diaries. Man, there's no way to fuck this shit up. So